So in today's lesson, we're going to be thinking about dance in two different ways. What we're going to be looking at is how we change our level or direction when we're traveling around space. And we're going to be using the count of 8 to help us to stay in time, okay? Now, you might try this with music. However, for the purpose of today's lesson, we are just going to do it without any music so that we can just feel the beat of 8. Okay, so socially, you are going to be moving sensibly in your area to keep yourself safe. You are going to be thinking about your actions and how you can create a dance. And you are also going to be thinking about how you can remember repeated actions in a sequence or within a dance. So now it's time to warm up your bodies. Some of the ways that you might do this might be some of the ways that we do it at school. So you could run fast on the spot. You could do some star jumps perhaps. You could even do some stretching. So you could stretch up really tall. You could move your arms around. Just really stretch out your bodies and get your heart beating that little bit faster. Okay, like I said before, the key word for today is travelling. So again, travelling just means to travel around your space in a variety of different ways. Try to think about the way that you are moving. You could move in a standing up position, or you could move where you're lower down to the ground. For example, you could be walking and then you could be crawling. Okay, so there are different levels in the way that you travel or move around your space. Now, what I would like you to do is down below, you will see that we've got 4 different ways of traveling. We've got walking, crawling, tiptoeing and sliding, okay? Remembering to be safe in your space, I would like you to pick one of the ways to travel around, and you're going to do that to a count of 8, okay? So for example, you might walk for 8, and then what you're going to do after you've counted to 8, you will then change to another way of traveling, okay? So for example, you might walk 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you might slide 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So have a little go now, pick 2 of them, and then begin to walk around your space and count 8, and then stop and count to another, choose another one, and then count to another 8. Okay? So this will also help you to warm up your body. Okay, now what I would like you to do is I would like you to practice balancing. So to do this, you may explore balancing by making different shapes with your body. See if you can hold your shape that you've created with your body for a count of 8, just like we did when we were traveling, okay? So you might hold a straight line shape, for example, for a count of 8, okay? So have a little go at doing that now. So you've got your straight line where your arms may be in a straight line. You've got your curved lines where you might stand like a ballerina, for example. You see how my arms are curved? Straight is where my arms are straight. You might have open movements where your arms are open or your body is open and ready. Or you might have closed movements where you pop your head down and all of your arms and you go within yourself. You could even, for a closed movement, be on the floor in a ball, for example. Okay, so I would like you now to practice making different shapes with your body and holding them for a count of 8. Okay, now what I would like you to do is I want you to choose some simple movements that you could do with your body. And then once you've chosen those movements, you could then perform them, okay? So my example is this. So I've got my arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head. Okay, I'm going to say that for you again. Maybe you could practice, as I say the body part, you could maybe practice doing the action, okay? So arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head. Let's try again. Arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head. Let's get faster. Arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head. Okay, one more time. Arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head. Again, arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head. So I would like you now to think of some of the ways that you could move your body, and I want you to have a little go at performing them in a sequence, okay? Try to choose just 6 movements and you can pop them together in a sequence, okay? So have a little go at doing that, and I cannot wait to see what they look like a bit later on. If you don't have any ideas, maybe you could just try out using mine, okay? Off you go. Okay, so now it's time to put everything together. I've created 6 steps for you to follow to put your dance routine all back together, including all of the skills that we've learned today. So step 1 is your starting position. You could choose one of the shapes that we practiced earlier on. So maybe you might choose to be in a closed position. So for example, you might be in a ball on the floor. Then step 2, you're going to do your sequence of movements on the spot. So for example, Ms. Thompson used the arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, head, head earlier. You might have come up with a more creative sequence of movements which you could do on the spot after your starting position. Then you're going to travel around the room or your space for a count of 8, remembering that your social mate is asking you to walk safely around the area. So really think about how safe you're being as you're walking around. Then you're going to hold a balance or a shape for 8 counts. Okay, so again, it might be a line shape that you choose to do the next time. So hold that for a count of 8. Then, after you've held that for a count of 8, you should try to do your sequence of movements again, because remember we were trying to add some repetition into our dance. So remember, it's that idea of repeating an action, okay? So you might try to do your sequence of movement again. And finally, you can end with your ending pose. So this might be another example of a shape that you learned earlier. Or you could even just have a fun way of ending your dance with maybe, you know, a fun pose or something like that to end on. Okay, so have fun popping your dance moves all back together again. And of course, if you do want to send a little video to your class teachers, then please feel free to do so. But if not, maybe you could perform your dance routine to one of your siblings or your parents, and we could pop it all back together. What I'll do as well is I will leave a link to some Just Dance videos where you can get some inspiration, or even if you just finished that little bit earlier and you'd like to have a little dance around your living room, then I will leave the link on the next page so you can go and do that, okay? Have fun with your PE lesson, everybody, and we can't wait to see your dance moves a little bit later on. Bye-bye for now.